Okay, this afternoon I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance for the caucus meeting. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Ms. Brock, has this meeting been advertised in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes, ma'am, it has.
All right, thank you. I'd like a motion to approve the agenda for the caucus meeting of January 12th, 2026.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Tabernick. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
A second by Ms. Brown. All in favor by rising your hand. And the agenda is approved. All right, we have minutes from the December 8th, 2025 meeting from Caucus and County Council. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Not for this meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope, sorry. I'm sorry. I pulled up the wrong. Thank you, Joe. Getting way ahead of myself. It is a new year, right? Okay, I don't think we have any council member discussion, but we always have that on the agenda. I'd like to go forward with number 6, executive session, and read through those items. We have A, under South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70A2, legal advice related to the discussion of negotiations incident to pending litigation or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege. Discussion of a settlement offer related to James Ware versus Beaufort County, Buckingham Landing. B, under South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70A2, legal advice related to the discussion of negotiations incident to pending litigation or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege. This is an update related to the settlement terms of Hatcher Holdings versus Beaufort County, Prospect Road on Defusky Island. C, under South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70A2, legal advice related to the discussion of negotiations incident to the pending litigation or other matters covered by attorney-client privilege. Discussion of a settlement agreement related to Beaufort County versus David Coleman, stormwater pond on Ladies Island. Under South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70, discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements and proposed sale or purchase of property for parcels of property located on 1, Ribault Road near Ladies Island Drive, that's 2 parcels in Port Royal, 2, Highway 21 on St. Helena Island near Sea Island Parkway, 3, Myrtle Park area in Bluffton, and 4, Ladies Island near Royal Pines subdivision. And there may be items to come out of executive session. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
A motion.
A motion by Councilman Brown. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councilman Passman. All right, at this time we will
Have to vote.
we have to vote. All in favor of going to executive session? And that is unanimous, and we will go into executive session.
Gavel.
We have no actions coming out of executive session, but we will reconvene executive session at the end of the regular council meeting. There's still some items to discuss. All right, at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order of the January 12th regular session of County Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I want to introduce who's going to do our invocation. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please remain standing.
Invocation.
We have an invocation by my minister from Carteret Street United Methodist Church. His name is Reverend Bryson Williams. Thank you for doing this.
Hey, I would just like to say, just very quickly, I was in Israel a couple months ago, and they have a museum that sits right across from where the Knesset meets. And in that museum, they have the Dead Sea Scrolls and these 2,000-year-old documents from before the time of Christ that were, I believe, written with the finger of God that informs those elected officials that make the laws and enforce the laws. And that's important for all of us to remember, that those laws are given to us so that we would live in peace and we would live in community, and that there will be justice and equality for everybody. Let us pray. Lord, we give you thanks for everyone gathered here tonight. God, may we use our voices so that we might all live together in harmony, that we might all live together in peace, that we would be a community which welcomes everyone and has equal opportunity for everybody. God, may we be a community that values life, that offers opportunity and education for each person. God, we thank you for these public servants who come to serve on county council. God, may they feel your presence as they make decisions. Lord, as we thank you for their service. Tonight, we also appreciate John Abney and his service with veterans and appreciate the work he has done. God, may you bless him and keep him in all he does. Lord, in this new year, may we approach with new opportunity, Lord, the chance to live together as you would have us. We pray this and thank you, God. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to confirm with our county clerk that this meeting was advertised in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
All right. Moving along, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Passman, a second.
I heard a second.
A second from
Gerald.
Councilman Dawson. All in favor by show of hands? And the agenda is approved. We have minutes. I tried to do this during caucus, wrong time to do it. We have approval of minutes. These are the minutes from the caucus and the county council meetings held on December 8th, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion by Vice Chairman Tavernick. Do we have a second?
So moved.
And a second by Councilman Logan. All in favor of approving those minutes, please by show of hands. And those minutes are approved. Moving on to our administrator's report. Mr. Moore.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Council. Tonight we're going to start off with some longevity service recognitions. So the first one we have is Thomas Pike. He's a crew chief with EMS. So he's got 15 years of service. Thomas began his career with Beaufort County EMS in 2010. He was hired as an EMT basic and achieved his goal of becoming a paramedic shortly after. He advanced in his career, becoming a field training officer, and currently serves Beaufort County as a paramedic crew chief. He is also the recipient of EMS Professional of the Year in 2012. When he's not working, he enjoys spending time with his family and fishing. So we thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And we'll get a quick picture.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Want to speak?
I'm already good. Thank you very much for the recognition.
Thank you for what you're doing.
service.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Okay, next we have Richard Sanders, grounds maintenance crew leader, Department of Parks and Recreation with 20 years of service.
He's going to
So Richard began his career with Beaufort County in November 2005 as a maintenance tech 1 in the South Side area. In 2017, he was promoted to crew leader and has continued to be an asset to the Parks and Recreation Department. So we have this certificate recognizing your years of service.
We thank you.
Okay, next we have Casey Madlinger, Sheriff's Technician 3, Department. He's in the Sheriff's Office and 20 years of service. Casey here. Oh, hi, Casey. So Casey started her career as an emergency services dispatcher, where she worked for 11 years, obtaining the position of supervisor. In 2016, she transitioned to an administrative role in the support services division. In her off time, she enjoys being outdoors, boating and fishing, and spending time with her husband and their 2 dogs. That's great. So congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll get a quick picture for you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I've been born and raised here and local, so it's been a pleasure working for Beaufort County.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Okay, next we have Michael Tanuzzi, a corporal with the Sheriff's Office with 20 years of service. So Michael has worked in various positions throughout the agency. He began his career as a patrol officer on Hilton Head Island, worked as a school resource officer, and then transitioned to his current position as a civil process server and judgment officer. Additionally, he was a member of the Sheriff's Office crisis negotiation team for several years. And his off time, Michael enjoys watching and playing hockey in a local league in Savannah. So that's awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you. He didn't want to speak?
You want to make any comments, Michael? I was like, no.
Okay.
So next we have Kurt, Corneck, Corporal, Sheriff's Office with 30 years of service. Sir. So Kurt began his time as a patrol officer on Hilton Head Island and then transitioned to the administrative division, where he worked at the Hilton Head Airport prior to being assigned to the civil process section. In his off time, he enjoys watching college football and pulling for his favorite team, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He also enjoys classic cars and can be seen around Hilton Head in his grandfather's Ford Model A. So I'll be looking for you next time.
Wow.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Get a picture for you.
Thank you, County Council. Thanks for the sheriff. When I first started, I had a beautiful head of hair. Now you can see what's happened.
Thank you.
We'll get next time. Okay. Okay. Next, we have retirement recognition. We have Eric Callandine, Lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office for 25 years of service.
You cannot retire.
So Eric retired in December 2025 after a distinguished 25-year career with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, most recently serving as lieutenant over Southern investigations. His work focused on fraud prevention, elder safety, and community education, leading initiatives that protected vulnerable residents from scams and financial exploitation. Throughout his career, he held key leadership roles, including Master Sergeant, Dive Team Leader, and coordinator of the Low Country Regional Intelligence Group, fostering collaboration among local, state, federal, and private sector partners. As an investigator, he worked numerous high-profile cases resulting in successful prosecutions that strengthened public safety and accountability. He delivered more than 70 public presentations on fraud and scam awareness, equipping residents with practical tools to prevent victimization. He partnered extensively with media outlets, AARP, and state agencies, and worked closely with the South Carolina Attorney General's Office and Department of Consumer Affairs to advocate for legislation addressing cryptocurrency ATM fraud. He earned a Bachelor's of Art in Criminology and Criminal Justice from the University of Maryland, where he played Division I football and was recognized early in his career as Officer of the Year by the Sons of American Revolution. Originally from Pittsford, New York, he's a devoted family man with 2 children, 2 yellow labs, and following retirement, he transitioned to the private sector where he now works for Gulfstream. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I will tell you, Mr. Moore, Sun City's in mourning that he is retired. I think you've done half of your 70-something were in Sun City.
It's absolutely awesome.
This man is fabulous for scams, yeah.
So, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So sad.
I was up here a few months ago, right, getting recognition, but thank you all again. What a wonderful career working for the county, the Sheriff's Office. Very thankful to P.J. Tanner, the Sheriff. Throughout my career, obviously, I've done very many things. I've met a lot of you on the council throughout my time here, especially with scams and frauds. It's still a passion of mine. I'm looking to get back into it once I get adjusted to my new job, but still there's a lot of work to do when it comes to these type of issues we're having with the scams and frauds. So I'm very happy with my career. I talk about Beaufort County all the time of Gulfstream, how happy I was when I worked here at the Sheriff's Office and what the county has done for the residents of this for us here. So thank you again for everybody. I'm going to miss definitely some people that I've seen all the time, but I appreciate what you guys do and the efforts and your serving as well. So thank you all and appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Sheila Hudson, Civil Court Supervisor with the Magistrate Court with 26 years of service. Is this your daughter?
My daughter.
Daughter, all right, great. What's her name?
Kirsten.
Okay, welcome. So please join us in celebrating Sheila as she retires after 26 years of dedicated service. She began her Beaufort County career with the Disability and Special Needs Department in November 1999, and then transferred to the Magistrate Court in July 2007 and the Traffic and Civil Department. Within just 1 year, she achieved an unprecedented promotion to team leader of the Civil Department. Throughout her career, Sheila became the court's expert in all matters related to civil operations and was a trusted resource for both staff and judges. She trained and mentored numerous team members, earning universal respect for her professionalism, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. Sheila's contributions and positive presence will be deeply missed, and we wish her all the best in her well-earned retirement. So congratulations.
Very briefly, I would just like to say it has been indeed an honor and a privilege to serve the citizens of Beaufort County and to work alongside some amazing people, one being Lawrence McAllen.
Thank you, Sheila.
Yes. It's just been amazing. I will miss serving the people of Beaufort County, but stay tuned.
Okay, next, we'd like to recognize our Veterans Affairs employees. So if we have Dr. Furman and John Abney, if they're here. There he is.
Dr. Furman should have a permanent seat.
Yeah, we're recognizing her all the time, so.
Seriously.
How you doing, John? Good to see you. Okay.
Sir, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Sir.
So at the annual meeting hosted by the South Carolina Association of County Veterans Affairs Officers in November 2025, Beaufort County Veterans Affairs employees Caroline Furman and John Abney were nominated and won 2 prestigious awards. Department Director Caroline Furman was named County Veterans Affairs Director of the Year 2025, while John was named Associate Member of the Year 2025. Dr. Furman was nominated by Colonel Neil Puglisi, USMC retired, who is Beaufort's representative for the South Carolina Military Affairs Advisory Council of the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs. Dr. Furman was recognized for efforts and contributions, including her unwavering commitment to revitalizing the county's Veterans Affairs and significantly enhanced its supports for veterans. Her implementation of programs such as end-of-life planning seminars and free vet will clinics have brought about significant transformation. Veterans Service Officer John Abney was recognized for his outstanding contributions, strong leadership, and unwavering dedication to our veterans and their families in Beaufort County. 20-year retired Master Sergeant from the Marine Corps, John worked tirelessly to break into the Marine Corps Transition Assistance Program, and he has transformed the department's role as speakers in both the Transition Readiness Seminar and the Spouses Transition Assistance Readiness Seminar. John's dedication to supporting and delivering quarterly benefits delivery at discharge claims clinics aboard our 3 installations has set a new standard in veteran assistance. By providing direct assistance with veteran benefits to those preparing to leave the service, these clinics have significantly enhanced the speed and efficiency of claims processing, establish a proactive standard of veteran support in our state. And having transitioned recently, I can attest to the work they're doing is so important to when folks leave the service, they're already getting their benefits from the VA. So we appreciate that, and thank you.
Yes, sir.
So any comments you'd like to make?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment about John Abney. Of the hundreds of VSOs that we have in the state over the 46 counties, John has become the #1 VSO. If you all remember last year, we had Ann McGowan from Beaufort County. This is significant. The reason why I recommended John this year was for that work that he did trying to get us on the bases. With 1,100 service members separating each year, we're able to not only take care of them as they transition, but hopefully have some of them retain to work in our Beaufort County workforce. So John has done just incredible work to where they were wanting to charge us $250 to be at one of these transitions. Now we get 15 to 30 minutes to talk to all of the service members that are retiring or separating. And just one last data point, in the last year from this past FY, we have increased our claims production by 1,100%, which has brought in over $8 million to the county.
Wonderful.
And now I want to say, basically, I wish I could take the credit, but I can tell you Caroline has brought together a great team here with Beaufort County Veterans Affairs. She has actually opened doors that was closed to us. She has brought on staff to bring about that change, because we consider ourselves not only family, but a great team that have came together, and we're trying to make sure that we're addressing the needs of all veterans, not only the retired veterans, but also the family members of those veterans. The programs that she has implemented throughout Beaufort County, I have the pleasure of supporting, but it's all about the veterans and their families. So what we do is not work for us. This is a calling, this is a service, so we have the pleasure of serving Beaufort County and all that we do. And so not only do we thank County Council, Mr. Moore, for his support, but also our families and everyone that plays a part in what we do for Beaufort County. And finally, I want to also thank my family and friends that came out to support me on tonight, because again, you know, it takes a village to do what we do, and we have a whole lot of support to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can we get you at the middle? Yeah. Sure. I don't know. Thank you. Sure.
Okay, now we'd like to introduce the new Bluffton Township Fire District Chief. He's new to the area. If he'll come on up. There he is. Chief David Heineman has more than 25 years of fire experience, beginning his career as a junior volunteer firefighter at age 16. He has served in multiple operational and administrative leadership roles, most recently overseeing operations for Greenville City Fire. Chief Hyman holds both a Master's of Public Administration and a bachelor's degree in Fire Services Administration from Waldorf University. He's a graduate of the South Carolina State Firefighters Association Leadership Institute and the National Fire Academy's Executive Fire Officer Program, and holds the Chief Fire Officer credential through the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. He's currently pursuing a PhD in Public Administration and holds extensive state and national fire service certifications. So he comes highly qualified to this position. We're happy to have you here, Chief, and looking forward to serving with you. So thank you. Any comments you'd like to make?
Just want to say that it's an honor to be here, and I can't say enough. Chief Church, standing in the back of the room, he's done a phenomenal job with the organization over the past year, serving as the interim, and the entire staff has just made this transition so much better. So can't say enough about the staff, and looking forward to working with Administrator Moore and Council. So
thank you. Welcome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Moore, I'd like to welcome the chief, since I'm in Sun City, Bluffton area, and I appreciate that you recognize Derek Church serving as the interim. He did do a really good job, but you're filling some big shoes, and you got a great fire district, so I wish you luck, and if there's anything any of us can do, you call us.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
And next, we're going to have a presentation on economic development. So I'll invite Mr. John O'Toole up, pending any questions you may have for me.
No questions?
Okay.
I don't see any questions, so.
Thank you.
And Mr. O'Toole, would you like for us to wait to the end to ask you questions? Would that be better?
Whenever it moves you, I'm ready for it.
Right.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a pleasure to be here. I was told I have 10 minutes to present. I will honor that. It's a real pleasure to be with you, and it's really nice following all that recognition. I hope economic development can measure up to all the good work you just heard about. Just to give you a little snapshot of what the last 2 weeks were like in economic development, up until about 6:40 on New Year's Eve, we were working with a company investing $35 million in Beaufort County, and they needed, in order to avoid some $8 million in liquidated costs, we needed to get that certificate of occupancy. Everyone working on the project worked really well. I'll just tell you about Kelly Brunson, who's our senior project manager. She happened to know the fire chief's father from Manning, South Carolina, and we needed sign off by the state fire marshal, I'm sorry. And so she was able to find out he was out of state, and then got the cell phone number of the deputy, and everything took place. Another little project we worked on. some of our board members suggested, with the election in New York, there might be companies or investors that may want to look at South Carolina. At the same time, one of our other board members said, years ago there was this great move by financial firms to Tampa, and they're really not that happy down in Florida. So on Friday, Kelly again applied for a grant with one of our partners for $10,000 to do some what they call geofencing, but digital marketing, very pinpoint marketing to those two targets our board members brought to our attention. And by Monday morning, the grant was approved and that work is ongoing. This past Friday, the governor's office contacted us indirectly through Warren Parker and the Beaufort Regional Chamber of Commerce on the Coast Guard project you read about in the newspaper. And so there was another state and another parcel that had the inside track, but really working collaboratively, we were able to put together a project on that. And the governor was asked by the Department of Homeland Security to provide economic impact. So yesterday we were working with a Hilton Head resident who's expert in that, and by 5 o'clock today we had the governor's economic impact done, but it was a lot of work over the weekend. My colleague Brian Warner deserves a great amount of credit because, as you know, they tease that a camel is something that's built it was supposed to be a horse, but it's built by committee. So Brian took all of this input and made a wonderful presentation out of it. And tomorrow, Brian will be presenting a site in the Commerce Park to a life sciences company. So that's a little snapshot of one of the duller 2-week periods in the year that we just lived through, coming out of New Year's. As we go forward, most of you are acquainted with our board, but where do I aim?
Back. You need to go back.
Try. I'm always challenged. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And so our board is very engaged in what we're doing. We'll see if I go the right direction here. I got to aim back. I'm going to stop. What I attempt to do, if I can get past the clicker today, is to describe to you our journey. I may have to give this up, but to describe our journey, talk about our strategy, activity snapshot, and then return on investment, and overcome your fear of me because I can't operate a clicker. And so, with that, I tend to hit it too many times.
No, it's not you. I think it's because it's farther back this way.
Okay.
So if you just say next, we'll do it.
Okay, super. Hands free. So just in terms of our mission, it's kind of outlined in our bylaws, and business attraction, business recruitment, marketing, data aggregation, trying to coordinate meetings, negotiate investments, incentives, develop workforce, and fundraising. And with that, we'll go to the next slide. You have been through our vision, but as you'll hear, whether it was getting that company a certificate of occupancy or the submittal to Homeland Security, we have to get a lot of different groups to collaborate. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is attract investment, build tax base so you can provide many of the services that residents expect of you. Next slide. As you know, there are a lot of competing forces in Beaufort County. You've got housing developers, commercial and retail, conservation, and economic development. What we're trying to do is present on this canvas called Beaufort spots that tuck in nicely where people can make a living and provide for their family in a dignified way. Next slide. We always talk about it, but I don't think it's repeated too much. These are the spokes, our balance wheel. Environment is paramount, education, and then the rest of these pieces fit together. And I know this council does a lot in this space. Next slide. In terms of our targets are all clean industry. We've stuck with these. We get great input. For instance, cybersecurity is one that's kind of emerging very quickly in Beaufort County. But we've done over 100 projects and haven't been out of sync with a neighborhood group yet. Next slide. When you look at, for some of the council members, you may not remember, but prior to us being formed in 2017, Beaufort had tried throughout, since really the late 1900s, sounds like a long time ago, to do economic development. A lot of those projects organizations kind of failed. Some of them left banks holding the bag on debt, and we try to stay away from that. But in 2017, Bobby Hitt spoke to the county and said, Beaufort, you're the only one in 46 that doesn't have economic development. You should form an organization. We'll try to show you, we will show you results tonight based on that. 2017, both I was hired and the relationship with SEA was formed. You have seen the funding of the site fund, and we are just, I would imagine by this point next week, we will have our first audit completed. Next slide, in terms of funding, we do want you to keep track of what you invested in economic development. I would say between operations and site funds, you've invested just under $8 million. The towns have invested that amount annually, either somewhere between 15 and 42. We're currently at 42. State agencies have supported businesses and our organization to the tune of $28 million. Grants in support of economic development. This is as recent as last month, a pad site grant from Commerce for $200,000. Those investments from the Department of Commerce and Department of Ag and other organizations have added up to 3.9 million. And then sponsorships, we've been averaging about $35,000 a year. Next slide. I've got a minute and a half, so I better talk quick. I'll just bring you through the Beaufort Commerce Park, but next slide. We are entertaining an investment, a group that wants to buy 32 acres in the park. We have a company out of New York that's looking at a 15,000 square foot pad. The company buying the land is also going to contribute $1 million to the Economic Development Corp to bring this spec building out of the ground, and we have a group out of Bluffton that's looking to do that. Next slide. Just give you a little flyover over the county. Later this week, we'll be visiting with scientists at the University of North Carolina to look at what's called recirculated aquatic systems, and this is indoor fisheries as a potential, and we also have a group interested in meat processing at the Libico site. Next slide. I've got 40 seconds. I'd be happy to answer more questions on this, but the project that's being proposed at the Naval Hospital, if it went forward, would be $300 million a year in economic impact to this area, over 2,000 jobs, and payroll just south of $35 million. Next slide. And you've seen some of these before. We have a healthcare company that just announced on the Classic Motor site on Hilton Head. Next slide. I've got 6 seconds. We just were speaking to the folks at Lone Palmetto about this project that's been out there a while, trying to move forward with a letter of intent that we'll bring to this council. Next slide. These are our scorecards for last year. Last year was a big year based on healthcare investments in the county, great for jobs. Next slide. We do keep track of our cumulative results, so we hope when you think of the $8 million you invested, you're just under $900 million in investments back into the county. One thing I want, even if I run a little over, and I hope you'll forgive me, a lot of times people look at the $28 million and they want us investigated probably by the gentleman you just recognized. The $28 million is not Beaufort County money. That's the State Department of Commerce providing incentives. Only 1.4 of that was local incentives. A lot of times people do quick math and say, $28 million to attract 3,000 jobs. That doesn't make dollars and cents. It's a bad investment. What these companies are getting oftentimes are job development credits. They're withholding tax returned to them because the state wants to incentivize the investment, or job tax credits is the biggest part of that. Next slide, and I will stop. It was mentioned that, the wages, and so in the year we're in right now, or over the last 5 years, we've come from 45,000 per average job. The year we're in right now, we're at 71,000. So if you look at the trend there, it's good. Next slide. If you compare us to other markets since 2020, and I do want you to pay attention to this, because if you wind back to where I started the presentation of working over the weekend to get an economic impact, so you're still in the race and you meet the requirements of the governor, or if you're trying to get a certificate of occupancy by New Year's Eve and you have somebody who can call state officials and move that forward, they'll work after they should punch out. We're surpassing South Carolina's growth, yet we have not rubbed a resident the wrong way in terms of the projects we're attracting. And when you compare our job growth, we're just, obviously Myrtle Beach is leading it, but Charleston, Hilton Head, this MSA, and it's Beaufort as well, and we exceed South Carolina. Okay, next slide. I'm going to stop here, but what I want you to know is that we continue to have a strategic focus, and as we look into the next year and delivering on the conversations we had with county last time I spoke here, we're planning on having a strategic session on March 5th where we'll have this council and all of the town councils and administrators in a room to talk about what you think is working, what you think is not working, what we need to refocus on. As we did with the use of the site funds, we can sit down and we can say, hey, we want to have these guardrails on what we're spending money on, but we do consider ourselves in a client role with you, and we want to make sure that we are responsive to what this council expects. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's open it up for questions. No questions?
Make a comment.
Yes, sir.
Compliment John and the staff there for the great job they do, attracting talent to come to the area, and they have. They work hard. They don't have a big staff operating, and they have incredible. Congratulations, John, and to Kelly, and to everybody who's over there doing this great work.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, Councilman
Thank
Reeves.
you, Chairman. John, thank you as well. You mentioned a company from New York wanting to come into the park. What kind of work are they looking to bring?
They do ceramic pieces for industry. Ceramics.
I'd like to thank you. I know how hard you worked, and you all worked on, and your staff, on the quick call for the Naval Hospital possibility over the holidays, and then again this past day or so, from what I understand. That's great. And looks like we're still in the running, so.
Yes, yeah.
That would be wonderful. Okay.
It's formidable, but we wanted to make it difficult for the federal government to ignore us, so I think we've done that.
You've done a good job of that. All right, yes, Councilman Cunningham.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is there anything we can do to help on that front?
You've been very helpful. Your chair has been submitting letters. Your Military Enhancement Committee has been providing great leadership. If we'll probably have additional meetings if somebody would like to see how all these people from, and Colonel Parker put it really well. He said, or actually it may have been Megan Morris from the Chamber of Commerce, said everyone put their egos to the side and made things happen. So I would just invite you to join us, maybe visit with a company in your district would be really good. So so you can see how the different things that we're interacting on, and we'd be happy to do that. I would just say if another thing you could do, as long as you asked, is try to clear your schedule on the 5th. We'll get a save the date out. Come with whatever grievances, concerns, whatever excites you about economic development. Maybe as March 5th is coming up, you'll look at, notice in the paper what other communities are doing or other states are doing and bring those ideas, and we'll have a real rich conversation on March 5th.
Chairman, just one more comment. The Health Institute or medical building that Mid-Island that you talked about, people are very pleased to hear about that. So thank you. And then not too in the last distance here, we had another medical center, South End. So the people are being taken care of, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The meeting March 5th will be, do you know yet the location?
Determined. We'll have it.
All right. It's still to be
John, I want
March
to thank
5th.
you. I want to thank you personally. You came to us in 2017. I served as the chairman of the governmental committee, and we set up the Economic Development Corporation. And then we later brought you on board as the Economic Development Director. Prior to that council, we struggled terribly trying to get some economic development growth going in Beaufort County to no avail. Since we brought John on board in the Economic Development Corporation, they have done a tremendous job, and John just gave us an overview of what they've done over the years. I thank you personally for your efforts that you're working with now on the Lubico site to try and get us the fishery going. But I want to commend you on the defense contract that you set up at Gordon's Corner, where that was a $7.3 million investment and about 15 employees making top dollars. And so you're doing a good job. I just want you to know that we encourage you, we support you, and whatever you need from us, just let us know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Sorry I ran a little long.
No, that's fine. Next on our agenda is a discussion of funding to re-implement the discounted impact fee schedule for qualified affordable housing. And Mr. Chuck Atkinson's going to walk us through this, and there was information in your packet too. So.
I will. Thank you. Good evening. So Beaufort County Ordinance 2015-28 provides County Council with the opportunity to provide an impact fee subsidy for individuals in need of assistance. These provisions are also duplicated in our current impact fee ordinance in section 82-33(3)(c). In these ordinances, council may provide for a subsidy based on the applicant's income. Please note that although this ordinance endorses a discount, impact fees may not be waived. They have to be paid on behalf of whoever the end user is. When funds are appropriated, applicants who have in household income between 60 and 80% AMI qualify for 60% subsidy. To give you an idea of real dollars, I went to the Beaufort County AMI table for 2025, and it's split up by the number of wage earners in the home who are 15 years or older. That's how they split it up. One wage earner, 60% AMI, is $46,320 per year. 80% AMI is $61,700 for one wage earner. When you go up to two wage earners, which is typically what we were seeing with these applications previously, two wage earners at 60% is $52,920 annually, and 80% is $70,500. So if that gives you some idea where the thresholds are. Applicants with a income, 60% AMI income of 60% or between that, or excuse me, below that gets 100% subsidy. So applicants with a household income of 80% AMI or higher do not qualify under the existing ordinance for any kind of a subsidy. So under our current impact fee ordinance, it states that council may provide the subsidy. The development impact fee may be subsidized as long as funds are available in the Beaufort County Affordable Housing Fund. Because this current fund is not funded, staff has recommended that council reappropriate $30,000 of council's current year contingency, and put it into this affordable housing fund to make the subsidy program viable again and available for the remainder of the fiscal year. As far as impact goes, our impact fees are broken down by size of home and whether it's in the northern part of the county or the southern part of the county. And we have road, fire, park, and library fees. To get very specific, a 2,000 square foot house north of the Broad has a road impact fee of $27.48, fire impact fee of $1,084, and a park fee of $868, and a library fee of $401. That's a total of $5,101. South of the Broad, same buckets, the road is $28.44, fire is $877, parks is $517, library is $278. That's a total of $4,516. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
All right, let's open it up for questions. This was first brought to our attention earlier this week. There was a Councilman Glover brought it to our attention, and also our CFO, that there were no funds available to do it, even though we had an ordinance that allowed it, unbeknownst to the rest of us. Okay, did you have a comment first, Councilman Glover?
No, I'd like to offer the motion that we fund that.
Okay, yeah, we have to have the motion in a second before we can discuss
up to $30,000 coming out of the contingency fund of county.
Do we have a second to his motion?
I'll second that.
We have a second? All right, now we can discuss some questions.
Madam Chairman, I appreciate this, and I appreciate the staff bringing this to us with this recommendation. Impact fees have impacted a lot of people that really can't afford. And in the case of this here, just having a trailer given to a person, but they can't afford the impact fee, they can't bring that trailer on their property. This is the case that is happening now. And if we allow this to move forward, it is not only available to this particular person or anyone, but throughout the county who's having difficulty with impact fee. This is something that we approved several years ago. Somehow it was not budgeted. I think we need to set the example that we want to help people, special working people, and giving them an opportunity to do better, but sometimes they just need a little bit of help. So
I think Vice Chairman Tabernick was next.
So, yeah, my first question was, who determines who would get these? We have a 30,000 pot, which isn't much. Who's going to determine who's going to get some of this money? And so you said north of the Broad, it's 5101 for all those fees. South of the Broad, 4516. Is the thought that we cover all the impact fees for a person? Help me understand.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have $30,000. It's not going to go very far.
So I did this these numbers are based on a 2,000 square foot home.
Mm-hmm.
That was just kind of the center of the table. Typically what we see is applicants will come in, it's associated with manufactured homes, typically a used manufactured home being put on heirs property or on a piece of donated land or something like that. So if you go to a 1,200 square foot home, the total dollar amount comes down. It's graduated for each fee. So, if a person's buying a new home that's 2,000 square feet and they're qualifying for a mortgage, typically they would make more than what the thresholds are. So what determines it? It's on a first come, first served basis. And the dollar amounts, we require them to give us their tax returns to prove what their previous year income was. We keep all of that confidential. And then the criteria is what approves the person for the discount. And then we would communicate that to finance to have the funds moved from the affordable housing fund to the individual impact fee accounts.
just for the public, just to reiterate, we can't just waive away the impact fees. Somebody has to pay them, which is why this account would be set up. And this is only for the next 6 months, correct?
Correct.
And then we'd have to budget for the next year.
Correct, if council so desired.
Okay, Councilman Bartholomew.
Pardon my ignorance with the question, but what's the role of the Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust Fund with this? I thought that was part of their role, was to cover part of this.
So two separate things. Their mission's a little different. This is a direct subsidy from county council to the applicants. I know you've put money in that to facilitate affordable housing. That's for developing affordable housing. These are individuals on a case-by-case basis that apply for these funds, and they're supplied a subsidy out of this account, which is a county council-owned account. So county council's taking tax money, putting it in the fund specifically for this use. That's the difference.
What year was the original ordinance?
2015.
Okay. All right, Councilman Cunningham and then Councilman Dawson, I think. Yeah.
So the only requirement on our end is the W-2.
No.
Or tax returns,
tax
sorry.
returns, right.
So there's no verification of employment, background history, background checks, nothing.
It's based on the previous year's income that's listed on their tax return.
So we're government funding something, but the only information we have is an income return, a tax return.
I don't know what other, you seem like you're alluding to something else we should be looking at.
Just saying,
and
I
I'm
think
not sure what
us
that
at
would
this
be.
level or even the federal government level, we give out a lot of money without actually checking things outside of just one area. So whether it's, for example, I mean, my beliefs have been very open, whether I believe you should get government subsidies for food stamps or something along those lines, but still should show work history or applying for work, or if you're getting unemployment that you're showing that you're working. So same thing, whether it's a background check or actively working, anything along those lines. So I guess that would be my question. If I'm going to tell taxpayers that are contributing to the tax base that they're going to be paying somebody else's impact fees. So I guess that's just one of my questions.
That is currently not listed as a criteria in the ordinance that was passed in 2015.
Thank you.
Councilman Dawson?
Yeah, as Chuck indicated, this is not a new program. This is not a new program. It initiated in 2015, and I think somewhere around 2018, 2019, it might have dropped off the radar. But the funds were established to actually help the low and moderate income people of Beaufort County, to help them buy mobile homes and set it up. And we found that the overriding process or the overriding problem that they had was not getting the mobile home, but getting it set up, and they had to pay the impact fee. And the impact fee, if you look at some of what the impact fee is listed as, is astronomical for a mobile home. And so this program is just basically designed to assist in that process. So it's nothing new that we're doing. It's just that it fell off the radar, and we're just trying to reinstitute it.
It's part of the history. I think when we had our meeting, you said an average number of applications.
It's 4 to 6 a year when it was running.
Active.
That's what I remember as being the average, about 4 or 6 a year. We had more applications than that, but a lot of them did not qualify.
They didn't qualify for it. They made too much money.
Correct.
Okay, any other questions?
I have one other question. What happens if Mr. Cunningham gets this impact fee waiver, whatever, and then he picks up the mobile home and moves within a year?
So impact fees are paid per site. So once Mr. Cunningham goes, the impact fee is permanently paid on that site. So when the next mobile home comes in on that site, that impact, you pay it once, provided it's the same size. If you go from 1,000 square foot to 3,000 square foot, you would owe the difference, but we keep those records and check that during our permitting process.
Okay, any other questions or comments? I'd like to comment. I remember when this was instituted with Councilman Dawson was here, and I thought it was a great program to help the people who, nothing wrong with mobile homes. I've lived in one, but a lot of us have, I think, in our lifetimes, and others will in the future too, but it helps the people who have the type home that is probably the least expensive home, but yet they want a home to live in. And this offers an opportunity to those people. So, all right, so we've had discussion. We'll call the vote. I think it needs to be a roll call vote.
Listed a discussion item only on the agenda.
Well, we had a motion, no?
What was it, motion?
It's only
Take
discussion.
action on or discussion?
I thought it was a discussion.
No, the motion was to approve the recommendation from the administration.
But you're still in the administrator's report time of the agenda. I'd recommend.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, David. All right, so we will do that under Natural Resources, Councilman Glover, when we get to liaison, if you'll make that motion again.
Okay.
Is that pretty clear? Okay. All right, so we've had the discussion and we've had questions. Now we're going to go to public comment. First to sign on the list is Ms. Carrie Major. I'd like to remind the public, you're permitted for no more than 3 minutes to complete your comments to council. Everyone speaking before council will be required to do so in a civil manner. Council will not tolerate personal attacks on individual council members, county staff, or any person or group. Racial slurs and profanity will not be permitted, and council will listen to the public comments but not respond. Ms. Majors, hi.
Hi. Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you, council, for allowing me this opportunity. And again, I want to thank you for the groundbreaking ceremony that was at the Wesley E. Felix Park for Phase 1 of our community center. So we really appreciate you. The community appreciates you. But also, as I looked at the economic development that was shown, I hope to see St. Helena Gullah Geechee Cultural Village Entrepreneurial Market as part of that slide next time, because that will help our youth. To offer our youth some things. We want our youth to not only learn Gullah Geechee history, but to be a part of the market, that they can learn some entrepreneurial skills and some business skills. So we hope to see that in the future. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Ms. Majors. All right, next is Mr. Arnold L. Brown. Is the clock working?
Yes, ma'am, we have it now.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no poster today? No poster today?
No, well, I brought one, but I decided not to use it.
Okay.
Happy New Year, and thank you for your service. The meetings that we had in November, December were kind of disturbing, and I wanted to talk about some of the things that happened, and probably have more questions than comments. The first one I have is, why did Pine Island drop their lawsuit? Does anyone know why Pine Island LVO, why they dropped their lawsuit? I have my opinion. I wish they would, tell us. First of all, they had very little community support. Their legal case was very weak. This is the second application, the second year, when they added funds, then when they added that $2.5 million, they blinked. They were saying that we have a weak case, therefore we want to buy your decision. And then they added more funds, and then we noticed that some funds were added in certain other districts. And then they lost, then when Pulte Homes lost their application, when they were not approved, that was another strike against them. So when did they make a decision? When did all the council members find out that they made a decision? And so and as far as court cases, I don't have access to a legal library, but if they had a good case, why didn't they bring up a historical case similar to theirs? I don't think it existed. As far as witnesses, I think the case was, what's the word, frivolous. So they dropped their case. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is, when they file the case, they are the plaintiffs, and Beaufort County is a defendant. So the relationship changes. So when there's a football game tonight, and they're not going to tell each other what the play is going to be. So there are your opponents, they're your enemy, there's your rival, there's a conflict going on, so information should not be shared with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Next on the list is Rick Pavarix. Did I say that right?
No, Pavarski.
Pavarski. Oh, I see the I at the end. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I'm a recent owner in off of, it's a harbor, Hilton Head Harbor RV park on Jenkins Road, and there's been some parking that have changed there in the last month. And over the last month, I've seen 5 iterations of the signs where they've come, they've gone, they got replaced again, the arrows went different ways, all the way up to last Monday where a new sign came. And I know the council has used the Planning Commission, you've looked at this. I don't want to get into the safety concerns, but I do want to address the council with some things that I'd like you to look at in the planning process. I'd like you to look at, the traffic count, the type of vehicles that are going in and out. There's tractor trailers with, bringing fuel to the marina. There's propane trucks. There's motorhomes, and currently they're going right up against, parking is allowed right up against to the entrance. Pedestrian counts. People walk up and down all the time. Speed limits. I think speed limits are very important. I live right up against, I have a place right up against the road, and I see people doing 50, 60 miles an hour. Will there be some type of, there's no posted speed limit on it currently. Will there be any type of barriers, of speed bumps put on there? Erosion control. Where they're parking right now is going to be off on the side, which is grass and dirt, and very easily to erode. You've got Hilton Head Island has a preserve area right adjacent to it that it's a wetland that whenever any kind of effluent coming off of that is going to flow right into it. So I think that has to be addressed. The survey, I see the signs in the parking where they're allowed, but there's no width. The right-of-way is not clear. So people could be parking on private property, and we don't want to be in a position to have to tow people off the property. Currently, there's no limit on the duration. Somebody could park something there endlessly, over several days. And part of that concern is that I know this has happened in the past when people I've talked about that live there, where people would actually, when parking was allowed, people would stay in their cars. And so there's a safety concern from that. We're right up against there. You're going to have people walking, right up against where we are. And, is there any kind of consideration within the plan to put up some kind of a barrier, some type of a privacy barrier, safety barrier like you do on highways? So with that, all I ask is one, is the plan available? Can we see it? If there's not a plan, please include some of these things as part of your plan, because it is a safety concern.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the list is Patrick Canning. Canning? C-A-N-N-I-N-G, correct? All right.
Here this evening representing Beaufort Water Search and Rescue. Sure, no more than a handful of you realize what I'm here to talk about, but there's at least a couple of council members, some of you administrative people. In the 2025 fiscal budget, established a $40,000 reoccurring line item. This was omitted from the 26 fiscal. I understand this was an oversight, and I hope for some funding at this point, which I also understand you're going to be doing some budget amendments. $40,000 is a very minimal expense to provide a service that we do for the community. The other item I wanted to speak about was the ATAX funding. I applied for ATAX funding in the previous fiscal year. It was denied. I applied for ATAX funding this year, and my understanding is before the meeting ended, it was approved, and then it was pulled because we ran out of funding. I think your understanding is incorrect. I think the state statute, which I spoke to at my presentation, it stands for us. Beaufort City has been kind enough to give us 2 ATAX funding grants totaling $37,500 over the past 2 years.
Thank you, Mr. Canning. Our last person who signed up for public comment is Mr. William Smith.
Good afternoon, Council. Let me start by saying my first thing is I guess Ms. Major said thank you, but I question the groundbreaking that we had in the building that y'all gave us. When I look over at the facilities that we have, and I look over to West Burton, I look over and what we have in Burton, and I look at that facility, and ask myself, are we really utilizing taxpayers' money to the best of our abilities? We've said that we've had a couple buildings over there in the Salem community that we've used, as in the Scott Hall, the Gloria Potts, and a couple other places where that the county are known. And I remember meeting with the couple of the recreation directors and meeting with one of the former county administrators with our group, and we're talking about how we can best spend the resources in the pool of monies that we have, and making it and enriching it. And if we weren't going to enrich in some of the opportunities that we have, and to build the building the size that we're building, and when I feel that the kids over in Burton are no different than the kids on St. Helena, and I'm not looking to an investor for Beaufort County. I ain't looking I'm looking for this council, this body, because I remember one time when this body and Beaufort, this side of the Broad, carried the other side of the Broad. So I don't want to hear nothing about we don't have no taxes, or we don't pay as much taxes as the other side. If they have a complex in Burton, why can't the kids on St. Helena have a complex? The size of that building, being at that opening ceremony, my stomach was balled up. To look at the size of the building and what we were offering our kids, I felt like that wasn't a slice of apple pie. It was a disgrace. That's my true feelings, because I'm not looking for no one to bring the opportunities when people in this county are paying taxes. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm gonna move on from there, because the second thing is another thing is this. We talk about the kids in the county, and we had the conversation a minute ago when the guy was talking about paying $30,000. That's a drop in the bucket. My question is, where's that tax money going to? I mean, the impact fees. Where's the impact fees going to? Because I remember a situation where a young lady just told me not long ago that her mother paid impact fees, and her mother moved the house, and she had to repay impact fees. And hear what he just said, that basically that the impact fees stay the same. I beg of the difference. And I watched some of the county council face when we were talking about it, and then someone even said, well, what kind of background check, what kind of checks do we do? Hell, what you want background checks? As a county councilman, be bold enough, be brave to say, I want a criminal background check. We got to be careful when we say we one county and we pledge of allegiance and we say all of that. Look at us, the looks on some of y'all face. And the way how you ask those conversations, that was a shameful God. I ain't worrying about no time.
Thank you.
This is a public meeting. That's a disgrace. We need to stop that.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
And right here in this audience today, we have the coroner. I remember going to several calls, and we talk about kids in this county. If we don't stand for the kids in everyone in this county, we're gonna be in trouble. Put y'all money where y'all mouth is.
Mr. Smith, your time is up. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm done now. But yeah, I want to make my point.
Thank you. Is there anyone that came in late that would like to have public comment? No? All right. We are at the end of public comment. Next is our liaison and committee reports. In December, several groups did meet, but I'd like to kind of keep it on the highlights tonight when we talk about it. I'm going to call out the groups in alphabetical order that might have met or did meet. I'll start with the Airports Board. Do you have anything to report, Mr. Reitz?
Very briefly, met last week. The Frogmore Executive runway is complete. Hilton Head Phase 1 is 87 complete with that build-out with the new jetways. And on Christmas Eve, a World War II veteran was honored coming in. He's 101 years old. So, I mean, these guys do a great job. Palm Palmetto Breeze. Brian Sullivan is, oh, I'm sorry, we'll just stick with the airport. Yeah.
Palmetto Breeze is not on the
Yeah,
list.
let's do the, that's it. That's my
Beaufort
report.
County Economic Development, I think we already heard from them, tab, so we'll skip that one. York Glover, Beaufort Jasper Sewer Water Authority, any reports?
Look, they just recently had a breakfast to stakeholders, and they were outlining their capital investment around the county. And one of the concerns that that they have going forward is the growth that's happening in Hardeeville. A lot of capital improvement expenditures for that particular area. But the executive director and that staff and that board is moving forward, having almost 7 years or more of not doing any investment. Now they're trying to catch up. So I think they're doing a great job in doing that effort at this time, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Bluffton Township Fire District, Mr. Cunningham?
Yeah, briefly, obviously we have the new fire chief who already went over that, but I also would like to make notice for our next meeting. Take this as me making notice to fellow council members that our next meeting, that I will make the motion to vacate the suspension of Rick Krob at the Bluffton Fire, at the Town of Bluffton Fire. That meeting will be January 26th.
Okay, thank you. Beaufort Memorial Hospital did have a board meeting, but nothing to report on that. Green Space, Mr. McKellen?
Yeah, there was a meeting in December. The next meeting is this coming Friday, and there are a number of matters that are moving through the due diligence area. One of the issues that we are looking at is workforce and affordable housing, and we have discussed the possibility that perhaps the language that we're using with regard to the requirements established for workforce and affordable housing may be a little too restrictive and perhaps too stringent. So we are considering looking at that language, and I'd like tonight to make a motion as a part of my report to move that County Council direct the administrator to have his staff work with the Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust Organization to develop some proposals for council to consider related to any changes we can make to better assist with making affordable and workforce housing more readily available in the unincorporated areas of Beaufort County.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion, questions? And Mr. Councilman Glover, this was talked about because you were at another meeting, but we did talk about
yes,
it.
Yes, ma'am, and I recognize the motion, and I support the motion.
Okay.
This is what we talked about with all the elected officials before, so.
At the meeting at Palmetto Electric with Claude Hicks challenging us to do it. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? No. All right, by show of hands, all in favor? And that is unanimous. That's great. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Keep Beaufort County Board, Joe. I don't think they met. Did they meet? No. Okay. LOCOG, we have several of us that go to that. Would anyone like to report anything from that meeting?
Madam Chair, I'll report. At our December meeting, I reported that the director of the Low Country Council of Governments, Ms. Sabrina Graham, was retiring at the end of the last year, December 31st. And so the search committee had already interviewed several candidates, and fortunately, our very own Hank Emerson, one of our assistant ACs here, he was hired on January 1st as the new director of the Low Country Council of Governments.
Thank you. We have Parks and Rec. Logan, do you have anything to report?
No, ma'am.
We had the 2 ribbon cuttings this week and last week at the new centers.
Yeah, we had the ribbon cutting. I'm sorry, the groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking, not ribbon cutting.
Yeah, groundbreaking ceremony at the Sheldon Agnes Major Center. It was well attended by the community. All the staff were there, and I'm just grateful that we got the project to the point where we actually put the shovels in the ground to start the construction process.
Councilman Glover, the Planning Commission, and then if you want to, your other subject, if
well,
you want to cover anything.
Oh, go ahead again, say it again.
Well, is there anything from the Planning Commission you wish to report? And if not, do you want to talk about what we talked about in discussion? Do you want to make a motion formally?
Let me piggyback also on the St. Helena site groundbreaking for the the Recreation Human Service groundbreaking ceremony was well attended as well on St. Helena, and we recognize that that's just phase one at this time, with more phases to come. The Planning Commission will meet the first Monday in January, in February, and I think that there are some. I think there's only one action coming out of the Planning Commission, if it's on there. It would be for a school on St. Helena, so that's coming up. And then, since I have the floor, I'd like to offer a motion to fund, to appropriate funding to re-implement the discounted impact fee schedule for qualified affordable housing.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
A second by Councilman Bartholomew. Any discussion or more questions or other questions?
You should set the amount of money.
Yes.
And where it's coming from.
It's $30,000 from the council's contingency
up
fund.
to $30,000, and it's coming out of the
Council contingency
funds
for 6 months, for the rest of this year.
For the rest of the year, right.
Okay. All right, any other?
I'll second the amended motion that he made with those terms.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we have an amended motion seconded. All right, Councilman Cunningham.
Yeah, so from my understanding, this policy was put in place in 2015. I know absolutely nothing about it. The majority of us were not even on council when that happened, so I'm willing to say most of them know nothing about it either. I do not feel comfortable funding something that I have not read on before when I was under the understanding this was a discussion item for today, not to take action. Clearly, I do already have some issues with using government funds with not much oversight. So I will be voting no, and I would support other council members that before we take any action, maybe we should be more educated on the actual program itself.
Okay, Councilman Tabernet.
So I agree. I didn't know anything about this either, and we were not provided adequate information. However, my question would go maybe to Mr. Atkinson. I don't care who answers it. How is this is use of public funds, and how is it different than paving private roads or giving away community services grant when we are using tax money from our taxpayers?
So as a direct comparison to the other programs, I really can't speak to the legalities of that or the nuances of that. County Council instituted this in 2015, and in 2023 readopted and added this provision to the impact fee ordinance. And what I've described and provided to you is the program in its entirety. Those are the provisions. It's a one-page ordinance. Happy to email that out to everybody if you need me to. And then in the current impact fee ordinance, it's on one page and it's in two sections. There's a table that outlines the 60 to 80% AMI, less than 60 and over with the three buckets that I've described. So that is the ordinance. It's not really a policy. It's an ordinance of council. So it's your ordinance. It is your affordable housing fund, your dollars. So we're just trying to facilitate the program. For some reason, it did not get funded for the last few years. Nobody that's currently on staff knows why it didn't get funded. It just wasn't part of the budget ordinance. So what you're looking at on the screen there, that is the original ordinance in its entirety. That's the whole thing.
Well, my question is, why wouldn't we use some of the funds we are permitted to dedicate from ATAX? We're allowed to put that for workforce affordable housing. We could put it with the Housing Trust Fund for accountability. Why would we not do that instead of using ad valorem tax money from the public?
So I'm going to turn it over to Brian as soon as I say this, because that's not what your current ordinance provides for.
I understand that part, but I'm asking, would it be more appropriate to use workforce funding through ATAX? Those are not direct taxes from the residents.
I don't think that this ordinance, when you're talking about impact fees, is the same as the workforce housing mentioned and described in the ATAX funds that's authorized by the state legislature. So I think we'd have a problem there. We'd have to get a Turk opinion, and they don't give Turk opinions anymore in that regards. So if we tested it and used state ATAX funds in that category, and then reported to Turk, and they reviewed it and said no, then you have to use your general funds to replace that. You're going to have to replace the ATAX funds. It's not worth the risk.
No, but I think it's something we can investigate for the next round of ATAX before we get there.
Again, the normal way to test that and investigate that used to be you requested a Turk opinion from the Tourism Expenditure Review Committee. They no longer give those committees opinions. We can call up and ask the staff attorney if there's been any other questions or if they have any experience where it's been reviewed and challenged in the past. That's the best we can do, but I don't think we can get the opinion without someone having tested it and gotten a determination from Turk when they reviewed the expenditure, if it's ever been done before.
Councilman Bartholomew.
It's my this is a stopgap measure until the next budget cycle, right? Right. Which is why it's only $30,000 for right now. I think in the meantime, now that this has been brought to everybody's attention, we can work to either get rid of this ordinance or incorporate it into the Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust Fund where there are funds available. But right now, this is a stopgap measure so that these projects can move on for a few families in the community. So I'm in favor of it.
Councilman Passament.
As I read this talks about affordable housing developments, but in the discussion we have, it was targeted to specific type of housing, which was trailers, pre-manufactured housing.
So let me read the sentence out of the current ordinance. Development impact fees may be subsidized as long as funds are available in the Beaufort County Affordable Housing Fund. So you've written in your ordinance, that's the original program that sets the threshold. In the current ordinance, that same matrix is in the current ordinance. Then under that, it talks about the subsidies being appropriated through this fund. So all staff is recommending is if you want this fund to be, or this program to be viable and available to people who apply for it. We don't have any applications pending right now. So if you want this to be brought back to life, you put money in this fund and staff can use the existing ordinances to continue the program through the end of the fiscal year.
And I think trailers were used as an example because those are the most affordable type housing in the county at this point in time. I mean, you could have possibly a small house, stick-built, as people say, that could fit the criteria.
Yes, ma'am. And I will say that the last couple of times that council has appropriated funds has been by resolution to Habitat for Humanity, and it was paid out of this fund. Council voted we funded this account and then paid that out. But because they weren't the homeowner, they didn't qualify under this program, but they did qualify under the provision that council instituted that says you can subsidize it as long as it comes out of this fund. And that was a direction by council, be a resolution for Habitat to get reimbursed for paying the impact fees
after they'd already paid them.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
All right, Councilman Cunningham.
Yeah, I mean, I think the program can work, and I have no problem if we can figure out the proper funding source for it. I think everybody up here agrees with that, but there are a lot of questions, and that's my biggest problem with voting yes or no today. Is this supposed to be a discussion item? We're still asking questions as we're going on right now. Sounds like we still have discussions whether Brian thinks something can be used or not as well, whether the right way to test the theory out or not, like you said, the Turk opinion. So I guess that sort of reiterates my concern. I have no problem with figuring out maybe we need to dive into this ordinance, add some more meat to it, and then go through it. And I know you're just bringing forward what we've already adopted, and I know that's your job, so this is just sense of discussion. But that puts me in the same situation where, like, do we even know what we're voting on? And that's my question.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Councilman
Yeah, I agree. When you look at this, and when I say agree, I agree with what Mr. Cunningham was bringing up. This ordinance, as it's written, was written before we had other options out there. So this ordinance does not specify who exactly gets it, because it was even talked about previously that a developer could come in and actually have somebody that does qualify, but the developer could build the house and apply for the tax credits. There's nothing that says that he can't do that in the ordinance that you're showing us. So I really think this all needs to be looked at closer, and we need to understand exactly what we are doing, how we're doing it, who it's going to before, because I can tell you right now, the first $30,000 is going to go to the quickest and the smartest and the fastest people that can get an application in. And that sometimes isn't the right people that we're trying to focus on.
But it's based on income. It's based on affordability. So I don't know how you distinguish between income, affordability, who can and who cannot. It's based on that. You meet the criteria, then you qualify.
So just to respond, Mr. Lawson, Councilman Lawson, so when you talk about developers, that's a different section of the ordinance that has different criteria, and that's a very complicated topic. This is the most simplistic part of supplying subsidies. It's direct to an individual. It gives you the thresholds. They make the application. They meet it or they don't. And it's for the individual on that particular, and it's a fee simple purchase, right? They own it when they're done. When you talk about
Councilman McAllen.
Chuck, how many people applied in the first 6 months of the fiscal year?
Well, none in this year. It wasn't available, so it hasn't been for a while.
Nobody, but that wouldn't stop them from applying. There was no money to provide, but nobody asked for it. What about last year?
As far as I know, that we didn't receive any.
What about last year?
I don't think there were any, as far as I know. I could go back and research it if we received any.
This is a possibility that we may appropriate this money and it may not even be used.
Sure.
Okay.
So our plan is to notify, put out the information that it's out there, notify mobile home dealers, notify different stakeholders that would know, and that we would have typically have helped with getting applications in the past, but right now we don't have any pending.
You're in a tough spot right now. I understand.
Well,
you know what you're talking about, but
Yes,
for the past 7 years, I have been asking for information.
Sure.
This is just another example, not your fault, of us not getting what we need to have to make a decision. So maybe we can could actually then ask for a more detailed approval. We could undo what we might do tonight, but if there are decisions, which we apparently have decided 10 years, that even in the past 2 years there haven't been really a lot of applicants.
There was no money set aside, if I'm correct.
Set the money aside and then get this revisited again so that we all knew here since 2015, or most of us, get a better understanding of what we're dealing with. Maybe we could proceed.
So staff brought this forward tonight because it came up at the council budget retreat as part of the affordable housing discussion, and that's when it came up, and that's why we're bringing it forward.
Can't we have one more comment, Councilman Larson?
The 2015 ordinance that you've just showed us actually only provides for transportation impact fees and also fire facility fees. That's the only two that it provides for in the ordinance.
So that was the starting point.
Right.
And then I paired it with the current ordinance, and I gave you the verbiage in the current ordinance that allows for the
When we
distribution
added more
of the
impact
funds.
fees, such as library,
Right.
north and abroad. Okay.
Just to put a button on it, I liked Mr. McKellen's idea. So my suggestion would be, and it's just a suggestion, that the motion is defeated, and instead you come back with more information and we look at doing differently here. I mean, I'm not in favor of this at this point. I want more information. I'm with Mr. McKellen. We need the information.
Yeah, but let me say, I didn't suggest that we defeat the motion. Get the information so we can make an informed decision. Like what we hear, rescind it.
Can I suggest an alternative?
And it's probably what I'm about to say.
Okay. Why don't we direct staff to come back with a proposed amendment to the ordinance and change affordable to workforce housing? Then it has a better argument to qualify for local A tax, 2% or 3%, because it's for workforce housing. And then, at the same time, you can move to fund it with the amount that you think is appropriate for the 6 months as we go forward. Then I feel more comfortable because you have the correct terminology that the state statute and our ordinance authorizes for the use of A tax towards workforce housing.
And I'd like to make a comment on that. We had a very hard time getting this passed in 2015 because there were council members who didn't want to do it at all. We were targeting the people at the lowest incomes. I'm not against your suggestion, but I'm not sure that meets the original intent of this. And I'm looking to Councilman Dawson.
Workforce housing is totally separate from the lower income
That's why I can't vote for
citizens that we have in this county. And this was drafted to assist the low income citizens in the county, not workforce housing. It's totally different.
To get to use the source of funding.
I agree with Councilman Dawson too. All right.
Madam Chair, I know I spoke twice, but I think I can wrap this up for you.
You're only supposed to be able to talk twice.
That's why I said I know I spoke twice. I apologize, but if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
Chair's discretion.
All right.
Even still, we still have disagreements on what the use is for. So I actually would like to make the motion to send this back to staff and actually bring this forward into a workshop so we can actually sit down and workshop with this and button this up the way that sees fit for you, for Mr. Dawson, Mr. Glover, for Mr. McKellen, and let's actually workshop this through it and fund this thing properly.
I'll second that.
Could I make a suggestion that you send it to Natural Resource Committee instead of a workshop? That's the committee it would come out of.
Good. Yeah.
That's perfectly
Would you
fine with
amend
me
it
as
to
long
do
as we
that?
can openly discuss it and work on it. That's fine. Send it to Natural Resource Committee. I'll make that motion.
We have a motion and amendment on the floor.
So you have to amend his motion to say, rather than adopt his motion, that we send it to Natural Resource.
I would like to make an amendment to the motion and send this back to Natural Resource Committee.
Send it to Natural, not back, to send it to it.
Send it to
Sure. Well, it would have came out of here originally.
This is a motion to remand it to the Natural Resources Committee is what I'm hearing, and that would take precedence over the original.
No, because that's the action.
By Robert Rules, mine would overdo it, right?
All right.
Should send it back and kill the other?
I'll second that, yeah.
Okay.
We got a motion second on the floor.
We have that. All in favor? Any more discussion? All right. All in favor of that motion?
To send it back, correct.
All right. All in favor by sign of hands? Get the vote?
And do 3 no.
Voting no on that because I want that to be funded in the event that there's an emergency for a family that is really stuck at the moment.
So it was 7-4.
Oh, there's
That's what we need.
There were 4 no's.
7-4.
No.
Yes. Councilman Glover, Councilman Dawson, myself, and Councilman McKellen.
It passes.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's move on. Are there any other reports from the liaison committees? Yes, sir.
Yes, I attended the Legislative Policy Conference in Greenville in December, where SCAC adopted several policies, one of which we have discussed here tonight. It is affordable housing. And one of the key points in affordable housing is to support legislation that would allow counties the ability to waive or reduce impact or tap fees specifically for affordable and workforce housing. This is a statewide proposal that is a statewide problem for not only every one of the coastal counties that are developing so quickly, but even the rural counties that are having difficulty with affordable and workforce housing. And all of you were sent the entire packet. Also tonight, everybody has what are going to be the 6 pillars of progress that our state legislators are going to work on this year.
Okay, anyone else have any committee? Yes.
But I wanted to ask Mr. Passman, at the state level, are they looking to assist developers in making workforce or affordable housing? That's not what we're discussing. What are they gearing toward? I'd like to know.
There are counties, Beaufort being one, that have adopted impact fees. Not every county has that. But when you have impact fees, the ordinance that you have, the state says, once you pass that ordinance, you can't do anything other than to fund that. And if you, on your own behalf, reduce that, you have to come up with some other funding source. This legislation would allow us to waive or reduce those specifically for developers who want to come in and put
That's my
in
question.
Affordable or workforce housing.
So
it's
they're
very
targeting developers, not individual people. That was my question. That's what I need to know.
Right.
So that's not germane to this one, yeah. Okay, I have one, Ms. Howard. I want to notify the public, and all our council members receive this. These are our chat with council dates. Our first one is January 22nd, 6 p.m., Bluffton Library, and then we go to Beaufort Library. So we move all around the county, and Hannah will certainly publish this, Ms. Nichols, and we invite everyone to attend. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
I would like to ask for consideration on September the 24th. That is a fourth Thursday in the month. It's on St. Helena, and I would love for it to, if you can move it to the third Thursday instead of the fourth Thursday, so I can be there.
Okay. What about the low-cog meeting?
I'm going to look.
The local is not, but I do have another meeting and stuff.
Okay.
So
Well, okay, but that's one person.
But
This is
But it's in my
September
district,
24th.
That's all I'm asking you to reconsider the another date other than the 24th.
Or switch it maybe with another,
You can do that.
Doesn't matter to me.
Which day are you talking about, September?
24th.
September 24th.
Maybe
It's
switch
September
another one.
24th, and if we could go to September the 17th, that would work for me.
Well, why don't we just switch September 24th St. Helena with August 20th Beaufort Library? They're
That'd be
both
fine.
north of the Broad.
That'd be fine with me.
Does anybody else care?
No.
Doesn't
Sounds
matter to
good.
me, except for you'll have to see if the room's available. Sorry, she just booked all these.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And
Okay. All right.
Madam Chairman, if I could have a moment of personal privilege
Yes, sir.
at this time. I wanted to announce to council that I will offer a motion to rescind the votes taken on December the 8th, 2025 for the purchase of real estate on St. Helena Island at our next regular council meeting. Just an announcement.
Okay, thank you for making the announcement. Any other liaison and committee reports? If not, let's go on to the ordinances for third reading. Ms. Tabernet?
Yes, ma'am, I was just switching my dates in my calendar.
Okay.
So I show up at the right place. Okay, so we are ordinance for third reading. 2025/51 is an ordinance to amend Beaufort County's ordinance, Chapter 102 Waterways, Article 4, Abandoned and Derelict Boats, Section 102-171 through 171 through 102-183. This is a public hearing. The vote at Public Facilities, October 20th, was 9-0. The vote at first reading of this ordinance, November 10th, was 11-0, and at the second reading was 9-0. And just for the public to remind everybody, we bifurcated the original ordinance, and this is only for the abandoned and derelict boats. So can I have a motion? This is a public hearing.
So moved.
Mr. Cunningham moves it. A second?
I'll second that.
Ms. Brown seconds it. So let's have discussion, because we've talked about this, and I don't know that we need to go through having an ACA do it, but discussion. Oh, yeah, public hearing. Yep. Anybody from the public wish to speak on this? It is a public hearing, so the floor is open for public. Okay, I'll close the public hearing and go to discussion from the council. Anybody? Just so people know, we've talked about this several times, so that's...
For months now.
Yeah, it's not like people don't care. We've talked about it. All right.
I just have one quick question, and that is, we're voting on the abandoned and derelict boats only.
Correct.
The other issue that we had with the fees for the marina, for the county docks, will come up in public safety?
Still in committee.
Oh, still in committee?
Still working in committee.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comment or question? All right, all in favor of this ordinance, please raise your hand. All right, unanimous. Ordinance 2025/51 passes. 2025/52 is an ordinance recommending approval of the 2% state accommodations tax awards as presented by the State A-Tax Committee, and this is a public hearing. The vote at Finance Administration Economic Development October 20th was 7-0. The vote at our first reading November 10th, 11-0, and the vote at our second reading December 8th was 9-0. Can I have a motion for this ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. A second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. This is a public hearing, so anyone from the public wish to address this ordinance on the A-Tax. And by the way, all of the documents start at page 36 in the packet that explain where the tax money is granted. Anyone care to speak on public hearing? Okay, I'll close public hearing. It goes to discussion of council. A discussion? Again, we've talked about this. Go ahead, Ms. Harriet.
I'm just here to answer any questions.
Anybody question, comment? Would you like to make a comment?
No.
Okay.
Unless you need me to.
Okay. All right, then I'll close discussion. All in favor of passing this ordinance? And we have one no down on the end? Okay. All right. Okay, ordinance for second reading. I'm trying to get this here. Okay, for second reading, 2025/53 is an ordinance authorizing the acceptance and possible eminent domain associated with a drainage easement located in Rivers End subdivision identified as open area in Plat Book 59 at page 118. And this is a public hearing. The vote at Public Facilities Committee on November 17th, 8-0, and the vote at our first reading December 8th was 9-0. Can I have a motion for this?
moved.
Mr. Cunningham makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Ms. Brown makes a second. This is a public hearing. Anyone from the public wish to discuss this comment on this ordinance? Okay, hearing no one, I'll close public hearing. Discussion from council. Anybody have a question? Again, we've talked about this numerous times. I don't want the public watching us to think we just do it. Yeah. Anybody question, comment? All right, all in favor of this ordinance 2025/53? All right, thank you. Ordinance for first reading. Oh, I am not reading all these numbers. 2026/01, an ordinance amending the zoning map for a whole lot of numbers, and we will have an explanation of that. I mean, I will put you to sleep if I read all these. And we're going to amend all of these plats from S1, T2R, T3HN, T4HC, C4CCMU, and C5RCMU to T1NP, and that means nothing to anyone, but I read it. And can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Howard.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Glover. The vote at Natural Resource Committee on November 3rd was 6-2. So this is a public hearing, but go ahead, Mr. Atkinson, with all those numbers.
Hello again. So there are 16 properties listed. All of these were purchased within our Rural and Critical Lands program. What we have done in the past is we have grouped properties purchased through this program, and we have downzoned them from whatever the zoning designation was when we purchased it to T1 NP, that's T1 Nature Preserve. And the reason we do that is T1 Nature Preserve is the zoning designation that most accurately reflects the stated goals for preserved land through the Rural and Critical Program, both in the comp plan and in the ordinance, the Rural and Critical Ordinance. So that's why we do it. It's sort of an in-house housekeeping exercise that makes all of them match with the nature preserve zoning designation, so that it matches what the comp plan and the Rural and Critical Ordinance state that the goal is for the properties when we purchase them.
Okay, I'm going to go to public hearing. So this is a public hearing on this ordinance 2026/01.
That's fine.
Yes, and anyone here wish to speak about all of these numbers or have a question? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close public hearing and go to council. Question or comment? Go ahead, Mr. Glover.
Yes, when the Rural and Critical Land Program got started, there were a lot of citizens really concerned about the county coming in, stepping in sometime in the future, offering this land up for sale, blah, blah, that sort of stuff. And even though we told them that, no, this land will be preserved, to me, this puts another layer of preservation on these properties. So I appreciate the staff coming forward with putting all this property in the T1 Nature Preserve or Natural Preserve. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, any other comment, question?
I have.
Ms. Brown?
Is Barrow Landing on this one of these numbers?
Barrow Landing,
There are multiple parcels within Barrow Landing. One of them is on this list to make it match all of the other ones that have already been downzoned to T1 MP. I'm not sure which one. It would
One
be
of them is the one that a former staff parents owned? No?
I'm not sure if that's
No.
the one or not, but
No.
all of those are currently
No.
county-owned.
No? Okay.
No.
It's a definite no?
That's a definite no.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Anybody else comment? Oh, Mr. Cunningham.
Yeah, just for clarification, so I know I wasn't on that last vote, but we're not going to get any issues of any of these properties being considered spot zoning. I mean, I know we're the ones that own the property, but we still have to uphold by the same rules we'd hold other people to. So I just want to make sure that, does this fit the surrounding areas, or could it inflict any harm on other people's properties that already have it? So what I don't want to do is, if it's surrounded by something that's middle tier zoning, and we put this as nature, that now if they try to go for an upzone or change their zoning, that we inflict a spot zoning on them, saying we can't do it because of surrounding areas.
Right, so spot zoning at its core has to do with incompatible uses, and I think it would be a pretty far stretch for someone to say that leaving vacant property vacant and downzoning it and eliminating at least some possibility of future development without upzoning again, that'd be really tough to bridge the gap to say that that is spot zoning, because it's not creating any kind of uses that would be incompatible with the surrounding uses.
What about the flip side? Will it hurt anybody else's surrounding property and the value of their property?
In my opinion, no. Because they would all have to come back to council and to say, we don't want you to upzone it because there's a vacant piece of property that has a very low probability of it being developed. I don't think that would even play into the conversation.
Mr. Bartholomew?
I was one of those no votes at the committee, and Logan actually asked that same question about the spot zoning. But my biggest concern was if there's really no threat of development and the Rural and Critical Lands Program allowed for potential swaps and future selling of the property, I just don't particularly want to bind future councils to that T1N designation and then have to go back through the council process of changing the zoning again in order to make it marketable. So I think just
Totally understand.
Yeah. So
And the only word that kind of stuck out is bind future councils. Council could absolutely re-up.
I know they
property,
can, but
so.
even looking at that 2015 ordinance, the one pager, we had, a 20-minute conversation, so.
And again, it's staff's desire to make it match the zoning designation with the intent of the ordinance, that the voters voted to put money in to buy it. And to us, it's due diligence is what it is. It's just doing our part to make everything match.
And I understand that.
Yes, sir.
Any other comment or question?
I would like to suggest a roll call vote.
Okay. And, well, first, you have to read the...
All right, I need to read the motion with all the is and is nots. I move that we grant the request for rezoning for the following reasons. It is consistent with the goals and policies of the Comprehensive Code and the purposes of the Development Code. It is not in conflict with provisions of the Development Code and/or our Code of Ordinances. It does address a demonstrated community need. It is required by changed conditions. It is compatible with existing and proposed use of land surrounding this land. It would not adversely affect nearby land. It would result in logical and orderly development patterns, and it would not result in adverse impacts on the natural environment, water, air, noise, stormwater management, wildlife, vegetation, wetlands, and the natural functioning of the environment. It would result in development that is adequately served by public facilities, streets, potable water, sewer, stormwater management, solid waste collection and disposal, schools, parks, police, fire, and emergency medical facilities. Okay, that's the motion.
Everyone understand the motion?
We need a second.
Second.
Yeah, we had a second.
For the criteria.
Glover is the second.
Sure. Second. I second.
All right, roll call, please. Ms. Howard starts.
Chair Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Glover,
Yes.
Councilmember Reeds,
Yes.
Councilmember Passament,
Yes.
Councilmember McGowan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lawson,
Mark Lawson, no.
Councilmember Dawson,
Yes.
Councilmember Cunningham,
No.
Councilmember Brown,
No.
Councilmember Bartholomew,
No.
Vice Chair Tavernick.
Yes.
The motion passes 7-4.
Okay, at this time, we need to go back into executive session. Do I need to make a motion for that?
Just conclude this meeting.
And you can go ahead and adjourn this meeting? All right.
Motion to extend.
I need a motion to
Once you're going to adjourn this,
adjourn this meeting
reconvene the executive
and
session.
reconvene the executive session.
And we're going to go back to the executive session for the same reasons voted on in the earlier session.
Okay, adjourn this meeting. This meeting is adjourned. I need a motion to reconvene executive session.
Madam
We
Chair.
just need to reconvene it.
Reconvene executive session, but I also need a motion to extend executive session past 8 o'clock.
Madam Chair, I'll make the motion to extend executive session beyond the 8 o'clock.
Second,
Well,
Madam
a new
Chairman.
book did, didn't it?
Yeah, we've changed the
We've
recession
changed it
to
to
9
9.
o'clock.
Okay, we're good for now.
That's good, because I was about to vote no.
did have items come out of executive session.
Yep.
We have four motions. The first one is regarding legal advice and discussion of mediation results of the James Ware versus Beaufort County and the offer of settlement from James Ware related to Buckingham Landing litigation. Do we have a motion?
I do. I move that council not approve the settlement offer proposed by the plaintiffs in the litigation related to James Ware et al. Versus Beaufort County at this time, and that the county attorney counteroffer for terms as discussed in executive session.
Do we have a second?
A second.
that.
Second by Ms. Brown. All right, any discussion?
I would just comment, that was said with authority. Go.
Passion,
All right,
feeling.
no discussion or questions?
Authority.
All in favor of the motion made by Mr. Passmont? Councilman Passmont? All in favor, raise your hand. Councilman Reese? Okay, and that passes. All right, the next one is concerning Highway 21 on St. Helena near Sea Island Parkway. Do we have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chairman. I move that the county council authorize the county administrator and the county attorney to enter into negotiations with the property owners of certain parcels located near the St. Helena Island Convenience Center for the purpose of exploring potential acquisition opportunities in accordance with the terms and parameters discussed in executive session.
I'll second that.
Have a second by Councilman Bartholomew. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor by sign of hands, and that is unanimous. Okay. The next one is concerning Ladies Island near Royal Pine subdivision. Do we have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the county council authorize the county administrator and county attorney to enter into negotiations with the property owners of certain parcels located on Ladies Island near Royal Pines for the purpose of exploring potential acquisition opportunities to improve stormwater management in accordance with the terms and parameters discussed in executive session.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Councilman Glover. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, sign of hands, and that is unanimous. The last motion we have is regarding Myrtle Park area in Bluffton. Do we have a motion?
I move that county council authorize the county administrator and the county attorney to enter into negotiations with the property owners of certain parcels located near the Myrtle Park Government Center in Bluffton for the purpose of exploring potential acquisition opportunities in accordance with the terms and parameters discussed in executive session.
I'll second that.
Second by Councilman Bartholomew. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of hands? Okay, and we are, unless we have something else,
Bang that thing.
we are adjourned. Thank you.
Yay,
Mr.
team.
McCullen?